Hey everybody, this is Casey. Thanks for tuning in to today's video. Today, I just wanted to talk to you guys and share with you on the process that I used to determine that I was in fact a swing trader. For those of you who are subscribed, you know that I have a community on Facebook, and there are about 1,500 people on there. Mellow. I'm sorry. What I found is that 80%, maybe higher, are identifying themselves as intraday and scalper traders. I got to thinking, like, that usually doesn't fare well for regular everyday folks, and the people that I'm looking to connect with on here are regular everyday folks. I still work a regular job. Somebody asked me, do you see trading replacing your full-time job? And I answered yes, and I should have said that with a caveat. Yes, I see trading eventually replacing my full-time income, but do I see myself sitting at a chart every single day finding trading setups? No. What I do is I sit down on the weekends, and I've just gotten back into it, and I mark up as many pairs as I can. Now, the goal is to mark up 28 pairs. That way I have a good selection to choose from. Sometimes that doesn't always happen, but by marking up all of those pairs, I'm able to determine the highest rewarding setups, and if a pair is not moving or doing anything or in consolidation, I can find other setups to take advantage of. I don't want to sit at a chart every day. I'm definitely not getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning. I tried to do that when I first started trading. Y'all know I started my trading journey in 2017. At the time, I was in grad school full-time and I was working full-time. I attempted to trade the London session. I woke up at 2 a.m. It didn't go well. I think I lasted maybe 15 minutes. I used to take my laptop in the bed and I'd be sitting in the bed and then fall asleep. That wasn't gonna work for me, and I figured that out relatively quickly. Like, okay, I want to trade, but I'm definitely not gonna wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning to find setups. I started working with my mentor, and when I started working with him, I realized that his trades were longer. As I continued to do research and trying to put all the pieces together and fill the gaps, I'm like, okay, swing trading. Let me see what this looks like. I would see his post and he would be making 300 pips, 400 pips, 200 pips. The trades I was doing was like 50 pips, 40 pips. And I was geeked about it because I was finding the setups on my own. It took a lot of work. It took a lot of time. And I'm thinking to myself, if I'm spending the time to find these setups, these short setups, and there's nothing wrong with that because intraday trading works and scalping works for a lot of people. Given my lifestyle and what all I had going on, that wasn't gonna work. I'm like, if I'm doing all this work to get 40, 50 pips, I could do the same thing and get 250 and 300 pips, 400 pips. Now I'm looking at setups that are like 600 pips. I'm like, okay, that makes a lot more sense than me trying to, throughout the day, sneak on the chart and find a setup and like, no. Or staring at the chart. Like, do I want to be a slave to the charts? Absolutely not. In the sense that I'm always looking for a setup. So the way I mark up my charts right now is through like a multi-time frame analysis. I look on the higher time frame for significant moves that are about to happen. Now, I said I was in grad school full-time, I was working full-time, and then I used to bowl on a bowling league before COVID. I was going to work from 8:30 to 5. I was going to class from 6 to 9. Then some nights I was bowling from 8 to 10 or 8 to 7. I can't even remember what it was. There were nights where I was gone from my house for hours and hours and hours. There was no way I was gonna be waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning when I done been out all day and then try to figure out a setup. You really have to consider what your life looks like right now. And I think part of my issue initially getting frustrated with trading was because I really couldn't find the time to find setups. Like, I really could not. It was inconsistent. Yes, some days I would find some good things and they would happen. And then it's like, oh dang, I gotta get up and do the same thing over again, you know, for 60 pips, 50 pips, 40 pips. For me and what I had going on, swing trading just made the most sense. And I gotta be honest with you, when I started, I would get frustrated because I had anxiety about letting a trade run. I didn't fully trust myself, and that's something that I still struggle with periodically today. Is I will find a setup and I let anxiety get the best of me and exit the setup before letting it actually run. Now that happens to me sometimes, but I've gotten a lot better with it. And the way that I've gotten better with it is going back to demo. You have to train your mind, right? You have to, I definitely was not a patient person when I started swing trading, but I went back to demo and I continued to study and I continued to understand and try to gain clarity on how the market moved. I would see this great profit that I was in, but then the profit would decrease by 60%, 40%, 78%. And I guess at the time I really didn't understand, like, this is a pullback. It's gonna keep going in your direction. This is a great sign. And I think also part of the anxiety was I was over leveraging my account. I done told y'all about the $7,000 account that I blew, almost $8,000 account, because I was trying to make all the money in one trade. And so what I had to do was go back to demo. And when I find myself getting out of this practice, I gotta go back to demo. And I gotta sit and go through the process and retrain myself to sit through trades and let them run. I think the longest trade that I've been in has been like 4.5, 5 weeks, maybe even longer. It might've been 6 weeks. It works for me. It's not something that's gonna happen overnight as far as you being able to sit in a trade. You have to condition your mind to be able to deal with what you're doing, because when you jump out of the trade, you're gonna have to find another one, and then it's like a cycle. And like, is it sustainable? For me and my lifestyle, how I trade as a swing trader is sustainable. Who I'm trying to reach on this channel are everyday people working regular jobs, who want to learn how to trade. And in order for you to do that and be successful at it, you got to find a plan that's going to be sustainable for you. Y'all have to forgive me. I've been playing with my earbuds and looking down in this video. I apologize. Next time, I'm not going to have them up here. They have been a distraction. At the end of the day, I think what you have to do is you have to be honest with yourself. You got to do some soul searching. I know that sounds super deep to be trading. If you want to commit to this process, if you want to see success, if you want this to be something that you do long term and do it the right way. I'm not talking about, you know, where you make $5,000 in 3 minutes. Kudos to the people who are able to do that, but most of us are not going to be able to sustain that. You got to do some soul searching. You got to figure out what works with your personality and then start to train yourself to sit in those trades. I would ask you, before calling yourself a scalper or an intraday trader, to really think about what all you have going on every day, your ability to be able to hop onto the charts and figure out the time that you need to find setups. Are you able to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning? Are you able to check the charts through the New York session? Are you able to trade the Asian session and be profitable? Or do you want to go in and sit down, mark up charts, and find potential setups? And this is when learning, you know, the Fibonacci comes into play, understanding the broader picture when that comes into play, because you can set up limits and stops. I use limits all the time. It's very rare that I execute a trade right away. I'll watch my chart on my phone to see like if price has broken a trend line, and then I can put in a limit. Or it's very rare that I just hop into a trade, because the market has to come to you. Like, you can't make the market do what you want it to do. And even though you might be ready for a sale, it might not be time to sell. You can watch your chart on your phone and find the exact setup, and then place that limit, place that stop. Do you really lead a lifestyle that's gonna allow you to do that and allow you to do it consistently? If no, if you working full time, if you can't sit at a chart full time, I would encourage you to consider swing trading. It's not all bad. It turns out to be pretty good. You can catch a ton of pips, trade at lower lot sizes, and probably make the same, if not more money than you would have made scalping, intraday trading. If you like this video, go ahead, give it a thumbs up. I appreciate you for watching, taking the time to sit and talk with me today. If you're looking for more commentary like this, or even analysis of the chart, go ahead and consider subscribing to the channel. I try to put out videos, a couple every week. And then if you're looking for a community of like-minded individuals to come in and bounce your ideas off of as far as trading is concerned, click the link below the video. We would be more than happy to have you. I hope you guys have an amazing evening, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.